What's up, everybody? We are live. We are live. Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another edition of your favorite show, the one, the only Reds View. Of course, I am your gracious host, Jay Red. We back in the building. I haven't done a live special in a minute, a live broadcast, but here I am. Here I am. It is a nice Tuesday night. And we do Res View each and every week. But I've been doing tapings. I haven't been doing live recordings, but man, I had to do a live recording talking about this. This has been very hot in the internet streets, on the radio streets, and the media streets. There's been a lot going on with this, man. So we have a lot to talk about. Now, if you do want your comment read, and if you're on YouTube, do me a favor. This is all I want. I want you to add to the super chat. I want you to add to the super chat. What's happening, Dwan Coleman? What's up? If you have something like if you want to chime in on the conversation and everything like that, and if you want your comment read, all I ask is you just throw a couple of dollars on the super chat. The super chat is going on right now, and I promise you I'll read it. We'll discuss it, all that stuff. So if you got a couple of dollars, just throw it on the super chat. Do that for the channel. Do that for Red's View. If you enjoy the content, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/@RedsView. Make sure that you also my other podcast is called Who Gave You a Podcast with my homie CJ. So make sure that you tune into that. We got something very special coming next month. All right, I ain't gonna say exactly what it is. I'm trying to make sure everything falls through, but we got something very special coming up. All right, so feel free to join in on the discussion. Like I said, for your comment, I'll if you want your comment read, throw me a couple of dollars on the super chat YouTube. Do that for your boy. Do that for your boy. So you already know what we got to talk about. You already know what we got to talk about, man. 50 Cent versus T.I. And the topic of today that I'm asking, and you all can chime in, is 50 Cent, Curtis Jackson, unbeatable? Is 50 Cent unbeatable? Now, what are you talking about, J Red? Well, the reason I'm bringing up and asking that question is because lately 50 Cent has been getting into a full out war with T.I. Him and T.I. have been trading shots at each other. T.I. actually took it to the booth. 50 Cent didn't, but we already knew that. But they've been going back and forth, and it's been a lot that's been going on. Now let's talk about how all of this started. So, do you remember back in 2020 when 2020 happened? What happened? COVID happened. When COVID happened, versus battles started happening. Versus battles back then at that time, you did it on IG Live. I don't think you did it on YouTube Live, but did it on IG Live. 20 songs versus 20 songs. It became the format, and then Timberland and Swizz, it blew up, and Timberland and Swizz sold it to Triller, and then history was made. You had some of the biggest icons of hip hop, biggest icons in R&B clash at each other. We've seen fights on versus stages. We've seen confrontations happen, just a whole bunch of stuff. So that started back then. It was versus, and at the time, T.I., who has a great catalog, a lot of people sleep on T.I.'s catalog and his hit records. T.I. at the time wanted to battle someone. At that time, he was supposed to battle Young Jeezy, or Jeezy is what they call him. I called him Young Jeezy back in my day. But what happened was Tip was supposed to battle Jeezy, but what happened to that? The offer of Gucci Mane came up, and when Gucci Mane came up, T.I. couldn't pass up on the opportunity for the culture, so he said, "Okay, I'm gonna let y'all have it." So Jeezy battled Gucci. I ain't really like it for real musically. It just, to enjoy the battle, it was because of the drama and the controversy. So anyway, that left T.I. in limbo. So it was rumors floating around that T.I. wanted to go at 50 Cent. Also, Lil Wayne. Busta Rhymes stepped up to the plate. He was trying to battle people too, but most people were trying to pair him with Missy or somebody matching the energy. So what T.I. was trying to do was go to somebody from his era, somebody that's well respected like him, somebody who made music kind of similar to him. That's why I thought him and Jeezy had good respect for each other, and I thought that was going to be the icing, pretty much icing on the cake. But Tip wanted 50. So I don't know if people remember this, but at the time, 50 never was a fan of the versus battle situation, period. He thought it was stupid People are having amnesia right now. 50 always thought it was dumb to have song versus song, like y'all playing songs versus songs, and he didn't think it was gonna be anything big. He was wrong. And we had No Limit versus Cash Money. I think that's arguably like the biggest versus battle we had outside of Jeezy and Gucci colliding. That's basically based off the drama. So anyway, 50 allegedly Ti said that 50 and him agreed on doing a versus battle. When did they agree on this? I don't know, but Ti was on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast and said him and 50 has talking about this previously. And then Ti has been in the press right now because he has an album on the way. I think it's what's it called? In the chat, let me know what is Ti's upcoming album called. He says it's his final album, The Last King or The King's Dead, something like that. So he released a single with Pharrell. It's been doing very good on the charts. My millennial self is happy that I'm hearing one of our OGs being out there competing with the young bulls and has a hit record. Let them know it's on fire right now. Dope record. So he's been in the headlines, and he brought up 50 Cent, saying like, 50 don't want no smoke. I won't smoke with him. So he was doing it in a playful way when he was doing these interviews. 50 didn't take too kindly to that, and then all hell broke loose. All of a sudden, 50 just started posting stuff about T.I. Like the first thing was the Crime Stoppers commercial. And keep in mind, him and 50 had a little issue back then, but it never like developed into a full-fledged war, right? But he said something about T.I. back then, and I think they made amends and they were cool. But that's how all of this started. So 50 and T.I. have been trading shots at each other. And the one thing about 50 is that if you're willing to go to hell, he'll go to hell with you and go further. If you go low, he will go lower. And boy, oh boy, it's been a lot. So so what we're talking about tonight is T.I. wasting his time. So T.I. So after this, right, 50 posted a picture of Tiny, Hibachi BBL, whatever the case you want to be. And all this stuff is off of his page right now, but he posted a picture of Tiny. And then after he did that with Tiny, King, T.I.'s son King, came out and he's been going in on 50 Cent, trying to fight fire with the trolling and all this other stuff, right? And then T.I. released a diss record called Right One. And in Right One, he had that traction, and then just all hell is breaking loose, right? So the question is T.I. really wasting his time? Let me tell you why it could be perceived as T.I. is wasting his time. For one, for the people who feel like 50 Cent needs to get into the booth, 50 Cent needs to rap against T.I. after this diss record, guess what? It ain't gonna happen. 50 is unbeatable. And the reason that I'm saying 50 Cent is unbeatable is because 50 Cent is a full-time troll. I want you to understand something. 50 left the hip-hop world years ago. 50's bread and butter now is the shade room type of crowd. That's his audience. I want you to pay attention to this, okay? 50's in the entertainment, right? He's still in the entertainment and a part of the hip-hop culture, but he's a film producer, right? He's a film producer. So with 50, his audience now isn't what it was back in Get Rich or Die Trying. All the hip hop heads and the people who listen to rap and all this, like myself, you gotta bypass 50 Cent ever getting near a booth, unless he does rap a little bit, but not in no diss records. That's gone. 50 is a troll. So the following that he has now don't care about no diss records. It's people that follow 50 Cent's page purely just to see drama and mess, because 50's always talking about somebody. People have called him the new Wendy Williams. So with T.I., him getting upset and expressing his frustration, I respect T.I. as an MC for getting into that booth and putting out a diss record. But let me tell you this, it doesn't matter how dope the diss record is, how scathing the diss record is. I don't care if you make 50 look real bad. You can at the end of the day, because he's unbeatable with that. The way to beat 50 Cent is to fight fire with fire, meaning unless you're going to troll him to death, you're wasting your time. If you ain't finna sit on social media all day and post memes and all this, you're wasting your time. See, T.I.'s audience is a part more of the traditional hip hop audience, right? A lot of grown men look at 50 differently. A lot of women look at 50 differently because people feel like he's a woman beater. He talks bad about black people, all this other stuff, right? But that's his brand. That's 50 Cent's brand. So there's nothing really that you can say on a diss record. I ain't gonna say exactly nothing, but 50, the stuff that you're gonna diss him about, people have been already talking about for years. People been saying he's 5-0, he's the police, he's this and that. But guess what? The audience that he has now doesn't care. That's the following that he has. They don't care. You put out a diss record of 50, which other people have done previously, like Fabulous and them. They did that on Christmas, rather. Matter of fact, what happened with that? 50 didn't do nothing but just post memes, post videos, just whatever like that. That's it. That's the business that he's in. 50 would rather make a documentary about you than dish you in a rap battle. So for those who are thinking that 50 is gonna respond in like musically, get out of here. That ain't gonna happen. Nor should you want him to do that. Nor should you want it. I don't even want 50 Cent to respond on a diss record. 50 raps horribly now. I'm not sure if you noticed this, but 50 sounds terrible as a rapper right now. The sauce is gone. It is. I don't want to hear 50 rap on a diss record. I don't want to hear 50 rap, period. The past features that he's had have been awful. And I'm talking about god awful. He appeared on Snoop's Missionary album. He appeared on Nas's album that came out a couple of years ago. And 50 don't sound like the 50 that we grew up listening to. He just don't sound, he sounds gassed out. He sounds like hip hop is his third favorite thing to do. That's what he sounds like. So I don't want to hear 50 Cent rap, nor should you. But he's not going to do it. Now, the only person that seems like they're actually getting at 50 is T.I.'s son, King, right? He's been posting memes back and forth and all this other stuff. But, T.I. is wasting his time if he's doing these diss records. Now, that's on paper. Now, let's play devil's advocate. T.I.'s putting these diss records out, right? I understand why. T.I. has an album that's coming out. This is great publicity for T.I.'s album. I think this is great, phenomenal publicity for T.I.'s album. If T.I. is looking at this as an opportunity to actually market himself and market that album, by God, this is a good way to do it. This is a very good way to do it. I think that this could draw, because he already has a hit record on his hands. He already put that out, but this could be used as leverage in order to help him, sell records. Shout out to Zero. Again, if y'all want your comments read, do me a favor, put $1, $2, whatever on the super chat. We're cooking with grease tonight. But yeah, now some people look at 50 like, oh my God, like I can't stand him. He ain't no real man, this and that and the third. 50 just don't care, y'all. He doesn't. That's not his brand anymore. People have to understand what branding is. And 50 has made a career off of the trolling and off of being messy and gossiping. That's what he does now. But either you're going to feed into it or ignore it at the end of the day. What T.I., should have done is just ignored it. Now, this is if you're trying to really do damage and embarrass 50. Let me tell you something. It's divided into two ways, right? You got T.I.'s crowd that's supportive, and you got 50 Cent's crowd that I'm not even going to say supportive, but more so they love following drama. They love following drama. What do people who follow the Shade Room? I can't stand the Shade Room. I would never follow that page. Things get to me from the Shade Room, but it's mostly gossip, mess, and all this other stuff. Now, 50 is he's funny. He's a very funny dude. He's very entertaining, but that is the crowd that he has developed over the years. That's who those people is. People in his comments that just be like, I come on here just to see the BS. That's what he's developed. So if you're looking at it like, oh, okay, he needs to be a real man and step in the booth, to him, that's music. That's just music. 50 is, he looks at himself like more than music. He's a brand. Now, I'm not saying T.I. isn't either, but 50 is beyond that. He can't look bad. I mean, he can look bad, but is he really looking bad? The man got shot 9 times. He's showing you every day that he's living the reason why that happened. So for the people who like, man, T.I. run up on him for real, Tina. Man, 50 almost lost his life. You think somebody who moves like that cares? He's willing to go to hell with you. He'll take you to hell with him. Now, let's talk about the T.I. diss record, the right one. What did y'all think about that? What did you think about T.I.'s diss record, right one? Well, let's look at some of the lyrics. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. Um, let's look at some of the lyrics right here. I'm not gonna play because I don't want to get a copyright strike. So he says, Ninja, you got less talent, you're less attractive, more average, you ain't got more motion, you just moving where it's less traffic. You moved out the way of rapping, they gave you the DMX package. You ain't that savage, Ninja, you 5-0 dispatcher. Old Tender D Ninja, all mad because Puff let your itch have it. Gave her tartar sauce and mustard like a fish sandwich. Then he says, you hate women. Guess that's why you can't keep one. You can't love them because from your mama you receive none. Oh no, you rather set fires to house with babies in them. I got paperwork from ninjas in prison. Your name is in them. Okay. Murder Inc. pumped his ass full of bullet holes. Cam did him like a hoe on the radio. Took losses from Rick Ross and Fat Joe. Jada spanked that baby thinking it's sweet. Kanye stood up on him and made his first week a defeat. Okay. So those are blah. I mean, those are cool bars, right? But to me, it's not scathing enough for 50. See, if you're gonna go at 50, especially on a diss record, you have to bring up stuff that we don't know. I hate for it to be like that, but to me, I heard it, and I'm just like, I heard stuff that I've already heard before. We all heard he's 5-0. We all know that he's mad about Diddy banging his baby mama, slutting her out. We all know that he's not a good father to his son. We all know that you know, just everything that he's named. Okay, you could say, yeah, he lost to Rick Ross, lost to Fat Joe. 50 is a manipulator to make you think that he didn't lose. That's the he's gonna make you think that he didn't lose. That's the thing. You know, I remember back in like '08 when he started beefing with Rick Ross, the impact wasn't there. Rick Ross was technically the winner of that battle because he came out on top, but 50 never. It's like he's like a, I don't know, he never like fell off musically, but he always can make it seem and advertise himself and promote himself like he's still on top because he transitions. Because yeah, he has power, he has BMF, and he's stunting, doing everything with these films and TV shows. That's the transition that he made. See, if he was still a rapper trying to sell records or make hit records, you could talk ish about him, but you can't do it. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. Again, if y'all want your comments read, because I'm looking at them now. Shout out to Zero, shout out to Fear No Mortals. But yeah, throw something in the super chat for your boy, man. If you got a couple of dollars, throw some in the super chat. But anyway, but yeah, that's why I'm saying he's unbeatable, because you got to fight fire with fire. You got to be able to light a match if he lights a match. You know what I'm saying? King, that is T.I.'s son, is the only one that's on Instagram trolling him back. That's how effective it could be. But who is King to 50 Cent? How many followers does 50 Cent have on Instagram? Now, I'm not saying this every single person who follows him actually, because follows him, but he got 38.8 million followers. All right. And then T.I., how many does T.I. have? How many? What is T.I.'s name on Instagram? T.I., what is his name on Instagram? Let me see. T.I. Harris. Where's his Instagram, man? Okay, Tip. How many followers does he have? 14.6 million. So that's, that's not that's not as much as 50. It's still a lot, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is 50 has a larger following because of the gossip that he does. See, Tip is a very admirable guy. He's a family man, did the family hustle, active in the community. I don't know what 50 Cent does with his pockets, but active in the community. His sons do everything, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Antoine Perkins. Thank you for shouting that out. I'm gonna read this one. He says, "Can't wait for your new album, bro. Keep going." Thank you, bro. Thank you. I wish you still did some production for it, man. I'm gonna have to holler at you. But but yeah, man. Yeah, man. So that's the thing. It's like I think that the dude is unbeatable, but he has a larger following. He has that shade room type of following. So that negativity can work towards your favor because that's his village. One thing about artists nowadays is everybody it goes from a fan base to a village, right? Your village of people, your church of people, your utopia of people. That's what you develop as an artist nowadays. See, me, I had to transition to doing Res View so y'all can feed into what I'm talking about. If I was just doing music, that ain't gonna cut it nowadays. That don't pay the bills nowadays because of streaming. So, eventually, I got a film coming out too, by the way. But film producing, you do something, podcasting, selling merch, whatever it is, and you develop another community based off of that. So, that's the thing that you got to look at. You know what I'm saying? So, right one was cool to me. Tip is rapping. Tip is rapping. Beat is solid, but I don't think it's scathing enough. I just don't think it's scathing enough to make 50 Cent look bad. It could look bad for the hip hop community, but it's like arguing with somebody that you can't put your hands on. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm arguing with an individual who's weak, right? And I know I could beat him up, even if I beat him up, they're gonna look at me and be like, "Ha ha ha! What you think you proving? Just because you beat me up, you still a hoe, you still this." And then what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying? That's the Charleston White effect. See, Charleston White is a troll, a frail guy, and he feeds off of the algorithm. When T.I. went at him, you remember when Charleston White was getting into it with King? When he got into it with King, Tip responded in a diss record. You know what Charleston White did? Laughed and said, "Man, I got T.I. back rapping." You know what I'm saying? I got T.I. back rapping. Exactly. It's like Joker and Batman. You remember in Dark Knight when Joker said, "You were pretty," I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, "You're powerless." You know what I'm saying? You're powerless. Your brute, your strength has nothing. You know what I'm saying? All that muscle and you beat me up, it does nothing. She's still gonna get unalived. There's nothing you can do about it. So that is the effect that 50 Cent has nowadays. Yeah, you dissing me on a record. Okay, you a rapper. Okay, cool. I don't rap no more. He's never just said that he don't, because he'll do a verse every now and then, but he don't care about that. He does not care about that. He's over here posting stuff what he's doing with Tyler Perry and all this. And for that fan base, that audience, see, the people who look at 50 now aren't even all the way hip hop listeners. The people that look at 50 now probably don't even listen to rap. They watch TV, television, they watch movies. They support him based off of that. That's what you got to think about. That's what you got to think about when it comes to that. So the hip hop crowd, just like when Fabulous dissed 50 Cent. Now it helped Fabulous out because people forgot Fabulous got bars, but what happened? It sizzled out. Nobody's talking about it. People still talking about 50 Cent, but people aren't talking about Fabulous now. And with T.I., the only thing, like I said, that he can do, he can use this as leverage and attention to put his album out. But let's just say, figuratively speaking, if Tip is really mad at T.I., Tip is really mad at 50, and he's taking it to heart and trying to get something out of this by getting at 50, trying to make him look bad, he's not going to succeed. 50 is too much of a damn troll for you to succeed with that. You got to do something else. You know what he could do? He could make a movie, a diss movie against 50. You know what I'm saying? Like he could make some skits, something like that. It has to be something like extraordinary outside of just music, because that following 50 has versus the following Tip has don't even care about that. So 50 is a troll. He's a full-time troll now. Now, what's interesting is that good old Miss Tina Knowles has entered the chat. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you this. Now, 50 took this down, but this is what 50 posted before taking it down. Do y'all know who this is? Miss Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mama. This is what 50 put on his Instagram like a couple of hours ago. He since deleted it, but he says, "I'm not gonna do it, but ish is getting weird. Little effed up albino kids." He's talking about King Harris. Grandmother's getting involved. WTF LOL. That's Beyonce's mom. Now, how did this happen? How did this happen? Well, Beyonce's mom, Miss Tina Knowles, she made a post on her Instagram. She did a repost of Tiny. Now, Tiny's Tip's wife and 50 had dissed her, like, posted her with a botched BBL and stuff like that. So Miss Tina Knowles was trying to be supportive. But guess what happened? The Shade Room, different blogs and everything like that, put it in the headlines. Um, Tina Knowles responds to 50 Cent by supporting Tiny. Tina Knowles responds to 50, responds to 50. Da, da, da. So that's how she got drugged in. And I don't know why he put it up there and then just took it down immediately, but that's how she got involved. So a lot of people just like, that's messed up. That's Beyonce's mama. Oh my God, the beehive is coming for you. 50 don't care. This is the same man that does not have a good relationship with his son. Somebody who disowns their son, who disses other people's children, who disses wives and everybody else, who got shot 9 times. Y'all think he cares about Beyonce's mama? Y'all think that he cares about Beyonce's mama, and you think that he cares about the beehive coming at him? It's 50 Cent. He don't care about that. And let me tell you the real reason why he turned up and drug her in it, because she didn't mean any harm. She was just supporting Tiny, saying she's beautiful and all this other stuff. He did that to get at Jay-Z. 50 is dissing Beyonce's mama or talking about Beyonce's mama to get at Jay-Z. That's what that's about. See, 50 has really been itching to have some type of mess going on with Jay-Z. He has the same animosity at Jay-Z that he did towards Diddy. Well, I don't know if it's that deep, but he posted something about Jay-Z. He's been trying to get Jay-Z's attention. What better way to do that than get at Beyonce's mother? He hadn't said nothing about Beyonce, but her getting drugged in this, I think that's what it's about. Let me see. The Aliens versus Predators movie. Did y'all see on Instagram? I don't know if he still got it up, but he made he got a picture about that had Jay-Z and he looked like the Predator or one of like an alien or something like that. That's what he posted. So he was and been trying to get at Jay-Z. The thing is, Jay-Z doesn't make music anymore. And then Jay-Z is not on the internet. Well, if he is, he's on a burner account. I think everybody get on the internet. But Jay-Z doesn't feed into the BS. You ain't finna see Jay-Z all on Instagram that we know of and stuff like that. So you're not going to get a response from him. Jay-Z, the big power of ignoring somebody and being silent, that could affect somebody more than you saying something. Because if Jay-Z was to say something, then you come into 50 Cent's realm. You come into his realm, and now you got to compete with him. But Jay-Z is that billionaire, something that 50 Cent, I don't know if he actually wants to be a billionaire, but this is what it's about. He dissed Beyonce's mama as a way to get at Jay-Z, because he's tried different things. He's been trying to troll Jay-Z with the whole Diddy thing and stuff like that. And he can't really get to Jay-Z. What can you do to get to Hove? You know what I'm saying? So that's what the reason is. But for the people who just like, man, 50 don't like women, da 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 da, that's true. You could look at it like that. And I'm just looking at it from the outside looking in. I'm not siding with 50 in this video. I'm just saying it like it is and the reason why he's doing and moving the way that he is moving. That's all I'm doing. You just have to look at the different pieces of the pie and understand the piece that you're getting. 50 is a different slice of pie. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, y'all, like, that's the thing with T.I. now. I don't know if any more diss records are coming out. I think he would be wasting his time if he put out more diss records for sure. But it's messed up with this that it had to come this way, and all this came from was a damn versus battle challenge. And people just like, man, 50 scared to go against T.I. 50 don't want to do the versus period, and I think people miss that. 50 don't want to do that versus period. How about that? That's what he don't want to do. He just thought that it was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Now, I think that T.I. versus Lil Wayne is the versus battle that should take place next, because that's the best one. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wayne hadn't went against nobody. Tip hadn't went against nobody yet. So I think the best bet is for that to happen. And I would be excited to see that, because I think that their catalogs could kind of coincide with each other, and it'll be a sight to see. It would be a sight to see, But yeah, man, it's real crazy how all this happened. But will 50 Cent, like, what's gonna happen? I want people to just realize this. What's gonna happen with this? Nothing. All 50 is gonna do is just keep trolling, keep going at it, keep talking about Ti. And the more, see, when King got involved, he had every right to defend his mom, to protect his mother, and everything like that. But to me, he just made it worse because we know he's a laughing stock. Let's just be honest. He's an interesting looking guy. I'll just I'll just say that King is an interesting looking individual, but he's a target. And I hate it when people said, let grown men handle this. He's grown. He has a son. You know what I'm saying? He has a son or a child, something like that. I think a daughter or the son. So you can't be mad about a grown man defending his mama. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad at that. But I understand why people would look at it, don't get involved, let that be your dad. You know what I'm saying? Do all that. But the biggest thing that Tip can do is just stunt that he has a family. That's something 50 Cent don't have, but it's stuff that we know already, you know? Um, yeah, 50. I think that 50, yeah, I don't think he thinks that T.I. is on his level. He recognizes it, but I just don't think 50 just interested in doing that versus stuff, period. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's been vocal about not wanting to do it because he think that it's dumb. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's exactly what it is. But he could use it as marketing. He could definitely use this as marketing. I'm looking forward to his album because it's been catching fire. So yeah. And then also announcement, my Reds View listeners, subscribers, I do have a new album coming out. It's called Once 3. For those who follow my music, I put out Once 1 back in 2017, put out Once 2 back in 2019. So 2026, Once 3 is on the way. We Are Not the Same. Can't wait for y'all to hear it. We got a lot of stuff brewing with that one, man. Finalizing the track list right now. So all that's about to go down. I can't wait for y'all to see it. But and if you're watching this right now, you haven't subscribed to the channel, you need to go ahead and subscribe to that. YouTube.com/@RedsView. Make sure you do that for me. YouTube.com/@RedsView. All right. I'm not gonna keep y'all for long. I just wanted to chime in and talk about that. I may go live a little later this week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all social media platforms at JAYR3D. Excuse me, because I got some stuff I need to handle before hitting the bed. But yeah, man, it's been great. Thank you for your support. If you are watching this, make sure that you subscribe, tap into the super chat if you haven't already, throw a couple of dollars, and I'll see you on the next episode of Reds View. Peace.